Okay, GGG just posted SCION changes. I'm gonna read this shit with you together. First impressions, let's go. The upcoming 3.0 beta, the SCION Ascendancy class, will undergo some significant changes that focus on making the class more powerful and on par with other classes. We've done this by taking some of the more build-defining features from the other 18 Ascendancy classes and incorporating them into the Ascendant tree. Almost the entire Ascendant tree has changed, with the defining features of other Ascendancy classes available and able to be paired with each other. This should increase the power of the Ascendant to be more comparable with other classes and enable some previously never before seen combinations. What is largely the passives changing, the path of blank passives that allow you to start another class's tree will also grant 2 additional passive skills, so the players may gain an immediate increase in power when taking these points. Check out the full tree changes below. Alright. Let's see, so for SCION, Elementalist looks like you get reduced reflected elemental damage taken, 6% pen, elemental conflux when you kill a rare or unique, and you get an additional golem. Okay. That's fine, sure. Seems usable. Necromancer, you get skill effect duration, fizz reduction, increased damage affected by auras you cast, and 20% chaos res. It's kind of underwhelming. The, if this isn't per aura, the Necromancer one's 10% damage per aura. This is just 30% while affected by auras. I don't think that's going to be, like, each. Elementalist, 50% reduced pen, or reduced reflected is nice. 6% pen is nice. I wish the elemental conflux was a chance on kill, though, and not when you kill a rare or unique. I guess while speed mapping, that's fine. You would always have it up. Which might actually be better than the current Elementalist now that I think about it, because our current Elementalist cycles through. It's like 6 seconds cold chill, 6 seconds shock, 6 second ignite, 6 second L3. This is just all 3 all the time, so that might be better for mapping, which would be pretty cool. Occultist, 20% ES, 1% energy shield regen per second. Enemies you curse have 15% chaos res, minus 15% chaos res. You get 20% increased damage if you kill the cursed enemy recently. That's kind of shitty. I'd rather the, defining feature of Occultist is like Wicked Ward and Extra Curse. Wicked Ward is your ES recharge, can't be stopped once it starts. And Extra Curse from the bottom left point, I don't know what it's called, Malediction, and then like the power charge generation and minus chaos res. No power charge generation there, but I mean, it's okay. I think that's the same as what it currently is, actually. Alright, let's check out the shadow trees. You get 1.5% base crit multi against full life, power charge on hit against enemies at full life. That's kind of good, actually. Because that's not on kill, that's like whenever you touch an enemy that's at the first, like, well, it's still at full life, that you'll get a power charge, which is pretty sweet. The current assassin one is 10% chance to get a power charge on a non-critical strike, which means if you're crit capped, you very rarely gain crit strikes, or power charges, sorry. That's actually pretty cool though. And then you get to maim enemies. Maim is just like a slow effect, I don't really care about maim. A Saboteur, chance to gain a smoke cloud when you place a minor trap, 5% damage for each minor trap you have. 10% movement speed if you place a mine or trap recently, and then traps hidden mines, which have been armed for 4 seconds, deal 50% increased damage. That feels really shitty. The best part about Saboteur is if your trap triggers, it triggers all of them at once. I believe it's the same for mines. I guess not for mines since they all detonate, but like, you don't get any global pen. I wish they hadn't included the stupid smoke cloud thing. They should have just included the pen, but whatever. Trickster. Increased recovery rate of life mana, blah blah blah, if you've killed an enemy affected by your damage over time recently. That's one of the strongest pieces of Trickster, so that's good. More chance to invade while on full ES. Increased damage while not on full ES. 50%, 15 mana regenerated per second if you use movement skill recently. That's super underwhelming. Tricksters, they get free movement skills and a huge chunk of flat ES, and that doesn't really get any of those. The increased recovery rate's kind of nice, but that one's kind of whatever. Alright, let's check out Raider. Movement speed, dodge chance, onslaught while in full frenzies, 10% chance to get frenzy charge when you hit or rare or unique. So that's the same. The frenzy charge on hit's pretty much the same. And then onslaught on full, that's also pretty strong. Raider is actually really strong for SCION now. It's like some of the main things. That's pretty cool. Pathfinder. Movement speed while using a flask, 50% chance to get a flash charge when you deal a crit. I'm sure that still deals with the you can only gain 5 charges per second thing across all your flasks, so that's the same. Increased damage while using a flask. Chance for your flask not to consume charges. Okay, so you don't get any of the penetration. You don't get, like, poison on hit is not a thing. You don't get any flask effect, so I don't know if that's a good one to go for. That one seems kind of shitty, underwhelming, whatever. Deadeye. 30% chance to pierce, 30% increased proj speed, damage as they travel further, dealing up to 50% increased damage to targets and additional projectile. Okay, this is the same, I think. The additional projectile is fine. That's like the main reason people want to take the Ascendant Deadeye, so you can use like double projectiles on your Essence Drain or whatever. It's okay. Kind of underwhelming though. Deadeye as a whole feels underwhelming, so I guess Scion should be underwhelming as well, right? Alright, let's check out Duelist. Slayer, reduce reflected physical damage taken. That's actually pretty cool. That's the same as the current Scion. 40% increased damage against rare and uniques. Life leech effects are not removed at full life, and your damaging hits always stun enemies that are on full life. So this is actually really, really good. Because the leech from Slayer, not removed at full life, that's like one of my favorite pieces of Slayer. Everything else is just like damage and AoE and Culling Strike, whatever. But that leech effect being available to Scion is really, really cool. So I'm pretty excited about that one actually. I might make some sort of Scion Slayer thing. Be sweet. Oops, what the fuck? Stop it. Champion, chance to fortify on melee hit. That's not bad. Chance to taunt on hit, 30% increased damage while you have fortify, and reduced damage taken from taunted enemies. That's actually very solid. Chance to gain fortify on melee hit though. If it was just on hit, that'd be fine. Because like the current favorites for champion I feel like is explosive arrow, so you can go life based and have fortify as a ranged bow character. But it specifies melee hit, so you couldn't gain it with your bow, which kind of sucks. I know, seems okay. Gladiator, 4% block, 20% chance to cause bleeding, 3% increased movement speed for each hit you've blocked recently, and damage, increased damage if you killed a bleeding enemy recently. That seems really underwhelming. Isn't the current... Let me look at the current Scion wheel. I'm pretty sure the current Scion gets like 30% of block chance converted to spells or something.
Gladiator plus Guardian. Incoming max block Scion.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm not liking that. That's just... Where is it? Yeah, 30% of block chance applied to spells. I would rather have that block back. Damn, that sucks. Alright, what else we got? I'd rip the Gladiator though. Let's check out Chieftain. Or what is this called? Marauder. Chance to ignite damage while you have a totem. 2% of max life per second while you have a totem. 50% of fizz damage is extra fire damage if your totems have killed recently. Eh. I don't really think of Chieftain as totem focused as much as I do of it being like strength and life regen focused, but I guess it is pretty totem focused, I don't know. It's the same. Is it literally exactly the same? Yeah, it's the same. Wow, okay. Cannot be chilled, increase armor, gain endurance charge on hit, cannot be stunned. Where is it? Juggernaut. That's the same. Berserker. Increased damage taken, 10% more, 1% of damage leeches life you've killed recently, attack and cast speed. So that actually was nerfed. They gave it 5% less attack and cast movement speed if you've taken a savage hit recently. Okay, why? Odd. Let's check the Templar nodes. Skills in your helm have additional totem summon at a time, maximum mana, 10% of mana is extra ES. 50% chance to gain a power charge when you place a totem, okay. I don't know if that's the same or not, I've never actually looked at Hierophant. It's the... No, they buffed it. Yeah, it's 50% now instead of 20% chance, which is a pretty significant buff. That's good. Reduce effective curses, you share blah 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 with each other. Allies affected by auras have 5% block, allies affected by auras have 10% increased attack, cast, movement speed. So again, if this is the same wording as the Necromancer Ascendancy, you only get this bonus once, or same wording as the other one that we looked at earlier. If it stacks though, this is actually better than Necromancer since it's 10% per aura. I don't think it's better. I don't think it's per aura though. Where's Templar? That's a little bit better. 25% reduced curse effect new. You lose the remove curses and elemental status ailments from you, which kind of sucks. And your allies get a little bit block chance, which you don't get from this currently. So yeah, I guess a little bit better. I don't know. I think the most powerful one here is Elementalist. By far. I can see people playing Elementalist Scions again, because that's the old Elemental Conflux, which is just really, really strong. I think I might try this if it stays. Like, if they buff other things or change other things, I might actually do Scion Elementalist, though. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick once-over, first reaction, whatever. I'm pretty hyped that they're actually paying attention to Scion, though, because, like, Scion sucks ass right now. I'm pretty happy that they're giving this point here 2 extra skill points, though. Because there was no reason to take this before. But now you get 2 additional points from the end. So like this node right here, well, you get 2 points as well, instead of just being able to specifically allocate from here. Which is actually a fairly huge buff, because that means Scion gets like 4 extra skill points total if you actually go through this side. Instead of just like, what I used to do on Spider was I would go 1, 2, and then 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Instead of like taking the endpoints, because this was just kind of pointless. Usually if you're pathing near something, it's because you want it anyway. You're not going to be needing to take the start point, but now there might actually be a reason to take 2 extra points. But yeah, Scion got a buff. That's awesome. That'll be Demi out.